Cheers.
And Darlene will talk to us about the Prosecco, but this is a lovely Prosecco for anybody that has it. Mm. Okay.
I couldn't identify what the grape was, Bill, because, and maybe we'll wait to get to that. But I really thought it punched much above its price point.
So it should be the Glera or a Prosecco grape, but if it's something different. Actually, Darlene, before we get started, why don't you tell us about the Prosecco?
Okay, well, Sartori, it was started in 1868 by Pietro de Sartori, and it's still family owned. It is an unbelievable value for this wine. It is 100% Glera. And of course, my favorite, as you know, Teresa, is chips and sparkling wine or champagne or Prosecco.
Yep.
So
and everybody should have chips in their bag.
Yeah. So it is, you know, they're hand harvested in Valdo di Bini. I always have a hard time saying that, but it is from the Veneto region, and it's a fantastic price point at $13.95. It is not available in the LCBO, so it's only available through consignment for restaurants. And I actually had a tasting in Kingsville this afternoon at 4, and they ordered 10 cases. They have an outdoor patio that's on top of the restaurant, and he was like, "This is crazy!" Like, for the price point. The mousse is very fine, unlike other Proseccos where sometimes the bubbles can be a little bit bigger.
My girlfriend said, "Don't call me anymore."
So actually, you know what? You're saying that it comes, we're actually, Marilyn, maybe we'll mute people because we've had the toast. And so, Darlene, it's interesting you say that it's from Valdobbiadini because that's the best region for Prosecco. And I'm very, very fussy about my Proseccos. Like, I'm a habit drinker, a champagne drinker, and I drink Prosecco, but I'm very, very fussy. And this one's really good. And the fact that it's from that particular is
probably have the opportunity to
exactly.
And Teresa, I don't drink Prosecco specifically for the reason I like a finer mousse.
Yep.
But this one drinks more like a Cremant.
It does.
For a Cava.
Yep. Anyway, so cheers again, folks, and then we'll move on.
Cheers.
Okay. And Marilyn, can you mute people?
You bet you I can and have.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. So a little bit of housekeeping. We have a couple of new people, which is awesome. And we have a few guests tonight. So just to let you know, we're recording this session. If you do not want to be recorded, you can turn off your video and then you won't appear. And if you've already been in the recording, we don't publish anything in the first half hour. So all the socialization is not published. It's really just from 7:30 or whenever we start till the formal end. But turn off your video if you don't want to be included. You can ask questions. There's a Q&A box at the, like a thing at the bottom for Q&A, and there's a thing at the bottom for chat. You can use either one of those. And Marilyn is my handy dandy co-host tonight, and as usual. And she will be checking the Q&A box and the chat box. And if there's a whole bunch of questions that come up, she'll stop us and ask the questions, and Darlene and I will attempt, or I will attempt to answer them. There's speaker mode and a gallery mode as well, just to let you know. When we have the split screens, so we have presentations, you probably want to be on speaker mode, but you're welcome to do either gallery or speaker mode. You see all the people and little speakers and presentations, or large speaker and presentation and little people on the side. So you have some choices. Okay. So the last event, so last month we had the wine and cheese masterclass. Hope people enjoyed that. It was a little bit different, and everybody got all the wines in their kits, along with the cheeses. So something just a little bit different. And some of the things that we have coming up. So we were talking last time about a truffle making class, and I was trying to organize it for around Valentine's Day, but couldn't. They were just combination of short-staffed and booked. So I could not do it around Valentine's Day, but March 13th, I'll send out an invite. And if we get enough people, we will have our own truffle making class with chocolate tails. And Dorothy and I have taken that course, and it's, trust me, it's awesome. And you end up with 40 different chocolate truffles, which is not too shabby. So March 25th, we have Malibor Winery, Nancy Kennedy, and Shiraz is coming. He's the winemaker. He's coming from Malibor. April 29th, we have Sylvester Wines and Spirits. So Lindsay's coming out, and she has an assortment of international wines. And then I wanted to mention, we will have other meetings before then, of course, but it's just been announced that they are going to have the I4C, or the International Cool Climate Chardonnay Celebration, again this year. It's July 22nd to 24th. It's been virtual for the last while, so it's going to be live this year. And hoping we'll talk to Danielle, and maybe we'll organize something for the group if people want to go out to that celebration. And even if you don't want to go en masse as a group, that's a great event to go to, a really good wine event.
Teresa, have you gone before?
I have been, yes, many times.
It is wonderful.
It's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's a learning day on the Friday. There's a gala dinner. There's a huge wine tasting. There's all kinds of different things. It's really well worth it.
Yeah, and usually,
they have. Go ahead.
I was going to say, usually at every table, if you go to the gala dinner, which is held outside, of course, you have a winemaker sitting at your table, whether from California, whether from New Zealand, or from a Canadian winery.
Yep. And they typically have, and I blew it one year, they all the servers are sommeliers. And I was asked to be a server one year, and I couldn't. That was the year Brad Pitt was there.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Did I blow it or what?
I tell you.
So it's a really good group of people that attend. Anyway, so it's a really interesting thing, and we'll see if we can organize something. But if not, put it in your calendar, keep it in mind. It's an awesome Canadian event. Okay. So last month I talked about probably being virtual through April. I think we're going to be virtual through May now and alive in June. And the reason for that is, so I've spoken to the art gallery, and of course, prices have gone up all over the place, and we only have half the membership that we had before. So we have to really get a whole bunch of people back on side and joining the club before we can go back live at a venue like the art gallery. We might have been able to do it for May, but I'm away for half of May. So the team decided, let's focus on June to go back live. Okay, so that's the plan for the moment. Tonight, Dandurand, Darlene Emberley, and I think you were going to have Hannah join us. I'm not sure if she's available, but
yeah, she says she may or may not come.
Okay,
so we'll see.
All right. Well, and I say welcome back, Darlene. For anybody that's been around for the last few years at all knows Darlene. And the only thing I'll say is, so it's been interesting because Darlene, of course, has represented Univin in Spirits, and she's been here locally, and now she's moved up to the Windsor area and is working for the company that owns Univin in Spirits. So She's got a larger portfolio, and at some point, like when I turn it over to you, you can tell us a little bit about what you're doing,
Yes.
as well. Okay, which would be awesome.
Great.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce the first three wines, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, Darlene, to talk about things. So we have the Prosecco, and of course you've got chips in your bag to have with the Prosecco. Then the two white wines that we have are the Pinot Grigio and the Sauvignon Blanc, which Darlene will talk to. But your pairings for those are the Southwestern salad and the Parmesan baked artichoke. Okay, and we can come back to that. So I'm going to do a stop share, and you can share, Darlene.
Yes. So welcome, Burlington Wine Club, and thank you for having me again. And I just want to explain to you who Dandurand Group, who we are. So Dandurand is the largest agency in Canada. It's the #1 agency. It was founded in 1968 by Philip Dandurand, and there's over 240 employees nationally. The Dandurand Group encompasses Philip Dandurand, who I now work for the agency. And in 2017, they acquired Univin and Spirits. So both portfolios are separate, but I can draw from both for restaurant needs, not with the LCBO. I'm strictly Philip Dandurand for LCBO. Oh, sorry, guys. And there's another component, which is Galleon Fine Wines, online purveyor of curated fine wines and spirits. Those would be a lot of things from Bordeaux, from Chesso, Montrachet, all of those locations. And those are the wines that people are willing to spend extra on. So we have this online company. I got to get my hand off the mouse. Velvet Management is our cannabis marketing service. So we are an agent for people that produce cannabis products, whether they be drinks, whether they be gummies, or whether they are the actual cannabis itself. And we have a team, which is called Velvet, that across Canada that distributes to all of these stores that are selling these products. If anybody has any questions at any time, please let me know. So as mentioned, Dandurand is the #1 import wine agent at the LCBO with 217 million in sales and selling 1.6 cases annually. We are also the #1 vintages agent, hitting 60 million in sales, outpacing the category trends in vintages. At Dandurand, it's about high standards, ambition, and passion, offering an exceptional portfolio of imported wines and spirits, showcasing producer know-how and passion. Because that's really what we are in the business of, is bringing great wines from producers from all over the world for our market. We also have spirits. So we have cocoa vodka, which you guys have and will try this evening. It was launched last year and became in Ontario, and it became in the top 10 selling ready to drink products in the LCBO. So we call those RTDs. And as you know, there's quite a bit of RTDs in the LCBO, and they change from year to year depending on how successful they were in the past. So we have Torrey's 10 Brandy, Broker's Gin, which has won well over 26 medals in the last decade. And new to our portfolio is Busker's Irish Whiskey. I had a 9 a.m. meeting last week trying 3 different whiskeys. Not really how I like to start my Monday, but it made it better. And we also have Romeo's Gin out of Quebec. And we have the only Pisco, Miguel Torres El Gobernador Pisco in the LCBO in general list. And 360 double chocolate vodka. So instead of using, Smirnoff vanilla espresso, and Kahlua to make a chocolate martini. This is just ready to go, but I didn't think I'd like it, but it was good. And getting back to the Prosecco, Sartori, Italy, founded in 1898 in Verona by Pietro Sartori, owned by the fourth generation of Sartori's, President Andrea Sartori. And as mentioned, grapes are sourced and grown in Veneto and Valdobbiadene. So I included this little statement here from 1939. He was selling, I believe it's 61 gallons, and the total was $239. So that would have been quite, I thought expensive back at that time, but 61 gallons, when you figure it out, it's quite a few cases. So there is the 100% Glera, harvested in September and softly pressed. And the wine speaks for itself, because at that price point, it is really, it's like something you could just keep on hand and have every day, or not every day, but every week. Does anybody have any questions about this wine?
Are there any questions in the chat box, Marilyn?
Not specifically about this wine. I think it's spectacular at its price point, and maybe just a very high overview. The Glera grape, found in one part of the world. Some of our members have not even heard of it before.
Yes, it's the only grape that you can make Prosecco from. Any other, if you use another grape in Italy, it will be called sparkling wine. Or in Francoforte, they have a sparkling wine there, but they use Pinot Nero, Chardonnay, and Pinot Blanc.
And that wine's done in the traditional champagne method, not the Prosecco method, right?
Yes, so the Charmat method for means that fermentation takes place in the tank, not in the bottle.
But the Glera grape used to be called Prosecco. It used to be called the Prosecco grape. That was easier. Prosecco made from the Prosecco grape, but it's actually the Glera grape, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So Darlene, we had a sparkling wine masterclass courtesy of Teresa at the beginning of the year. And we were cautioned that champagne and all other bubbles are at risk, be it supply chain or how is this, if we wanted to say order a lot more, how is our supply on the Sartori?
The supply is fine on the Sartori. During the pandemic in early stages and at the beginning of 2021, I mean, people were at home, people were like, oh, the world is ending, and they were just buying up as much champagne as the LCBO could offer. And unfortunately, what happened was we had a supply chain in Ontario where we weren't getting any champagne. And because of shipping and containers being, they couldn't even get containers in Argentina, France, in order to ship champagne. So we did see a little bit of the champagne drought, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. But we're all good now, so we can place orders. Fantastic. All right.
This is I have to say again, I'm impressed. This is a really good Prosecco, in my opinion. Anyway, my 2 cents. Go.
And some of our regular members agree. They call it an everyday. It's an everyday experience. So.
Yes. Well, if I can live off Prosecco and potato chips, then it would be every day.
All right. I think we're at a point where we can move on to the Pinot Grigio. Is that you, Teresa? Okay. Or you're going to carry on? My apologies.
No problem. So this is the Trapiche winery in Argentina. And it is one of the largest wineries in Argentina. It was begun in 1883, as it has received worldwide recognition, relentless quest for innovation. They have a full understanding of the land, and I just can't see that, sorry. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Let me go back. Yeah, so yes, I can't see part of the screen because you guys are there, but there's a full understanding of the land, and combined with state-of-the-art technology to venture into otherwise unique, I think it says, territory, has turned Trapiche into a winery that is constantly challenging what is known.
Allegedly, no.
Allegedly known. Thank you. I'll let you read this part, Teresa.
Okay. So the winery pioneered innovation, such as the introduction of French varieties. So in Argentina, so the use of French oak barrels and the production of micro terroir wines. So they're very innovative. So the relentless determination to achieve the highest standards in the world in winemaking has resulted in Trapiche's worldwide recognition. So most people are familiar with the Trapiche name. And they were distinguished as the most awarded Argentine winery by WRW&S. I'm not sure who they are.
They are the world ranking wine and spirits agency, that they rank wines over detailed logs, and that's what they exist for.
Excellent. And they won that award for the 4th year in a row.
Yep.
As selected by the prestigious English publication Drinks International. And they've been among the 50 most admired wine brands, and becoming the only Argentine winery to obtain 5 of the selections: 2014, 15, 17, 18, and 19. And we all know Wine Enthusiast. They were the new World Winery of the Year in 2019. So not too shabby.
No, not too shabby. So Pinot Grigio is the #1 varietal sold at the LCBO, and Trapiche is #1 in the Argentinian category at the LCBO. So I'm not sure if you guys have tried it with your salad yet, but this Pinot Grigio exhibits a straw color with greenish hues, and it's got some delicate fresh apple skin, pineapple and quince aromas with citrus blossom, and pastry or mineral. Medium bodied on the palate, fruity, and a great flavorful finish. Now, these are my tasting notes. So if you're tasting something else, that's okay.
Okay, so let's go back to, okay. So we got the Trapiche Pinot Grigio and the Southwestern salad. So, and of course, as I always suggest, leave some of the wine to try with some of the other food pairings. So we've got a Pinot Grigio and a Sauvignon Blanc. We have a Southwestern salad and a Parmesan baked artichoke. You want to try them interchangeably, but my thinking was the Pinot Grigio goes with the Southwestern salad. And
Teresa, what's in the salad?
so it's corn and black beans and peppers, corn, black bean, peppers. There's no meat and there's no lettuce, so it's a solid salad. But the dressing is a mayonnaise-based dressing with a hint of horseradish. So, but the idea was just enough horseradish and not too much, so that it would balance with the Pinot Grigio. So try it, folks. See if you can taste the hint of horseradish. Yep. And does it work? My objective was to balance the two wines and to bring out the flavors in the Pinot Grigio.
So lots of positive comments about the Pinot Grigio working with the salad. I feel like it's a very food friendly. Has a lot of places that it could probably go. So we're seeing it sort of as a precursor to a main meal. Darlene, do you have any suggestions where you might pair this with a dinner or something a little more hefty on the plate?
Yeah, I would definitely pair this with a nice sole almondine.
Mm.
Mhm.
Add some peas to that and on the side, like not a lot of buttery, but it's some peas with a tap of butter in the boiling water. And I think that would just be exceptional, especially in the summer. You know, it's funny, I find even in the winter now, I find myself drawn to whites just because it's crisp and it's light. You know, sometimes I know winter red, but sometimes you just want something not as heavy.
Mhm.
Right.
And good, and it's a good food wine. Like there's enough to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the idea of the fish, the sole and
Yeah.
almondine. Yeah. I might have to do that.
I think it was my parents had taken me out for a grade 8 graduation to the Harrop House, which was in Milton. That's where I grew up. And that was the first dish I had dining out at a fine dining restaurant. So I always remember that.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And Argentina may be my naivete. I think of it as a red meat, big barbecues and, the red wine that goes with that. Is there a movement in Argentina? Is red wine something that's emerging there, or has it always been there and we've just not been paying attention?
It's always been there. It really has. So if Argentina as well, not only is it a lot of beef, as you mentioned, Marilyn, but a lot of fish is consumed there as well.
Road trip.
Yeah. Water Lake.
Danielle, do get on that.
All right, I think that's a good jumping off point
Okay.
for the next one, the Sauv Blanc.
Okay, so the Sauvignon Blanc, so the Parmesan baked artichoke is the pairing for that, but I will get out of here and let you share, Darlene, if you want to talk about the tasting notes for there.
And where are we? There we are. Share.
Should be easier second time around, right?
It is.
Perfect.
And I just want to say one other thing about this Pinot Grigio. I do like that the residual sugar, that it is low.
Mhm.
Okay, Vina Tarapaca chili. So this winery is located in the Isle de Maipo, which is considered as the finest and most traditional area for the production of wines in Chile. I love this picture here because it's like a beautiful vineyard in the middle of mountains. The estate is comprised of 2,600 hectares, of which 611 are planted with vineyards. It is a unique place surrounded by mountains and the river Maipo. For this reason, the El Rosario estate is known as Maipo Valley Natural Clos. Clos is a French viticultural term used to describe a terroir that is surrounded by concrete walls erected to preserve the vineyard. At Vina Tarapaca, we call it the natural close because our vineyard is surrounded by natural barriers which give origin to unique wines of exceptional quality. Founded at the foothills of the Andes Mountains range in 1874. You're going to have to read this for me, Teresa.
Okay, no worries. So they've crafted elegant quality wines. So becoming one of the first traditional and historical Chilean wineries, as well as a benchmark for viticulture in Chile. So they were a pioneer. So Vina Tarapaca's mission and vision is to be sustainable in their actions and across economical, social, and environmental. So striving to be cutting edge in technology, winemaking, and vineyard management, using practices which take the environment into consideration. So sustainable winemaking for sure. Examples include using solar panels at the winery. The first winery in Chile to use a mini hydroelectric plant capable of generating 60% of the energy for wine production and efficient irrigation techniques. So sounds like they were a pioneer in sustainable wine management.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we will move on to the Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon is the number 2 varietal sold at the LCBO, which I was kind of shocked because I thought it would have been Chardonnay. And Sauvignon Blanc is the number 1 white varietal sold in the Chilean category, representing 20% of all Chilean wines sold in Ontario. Intense with notes of citrus, pineapple, and white peach, balanced and tangy with a refreshing finish, and again, low in sugar. So I'd like to hear anybody's feedback if there is any.
So there's the Sauvignon Blanc and the artichoke pairing. So roasted artichokes with Parmesan cheese or alternate cheese if you were dairy-free.
And Teresa, explain why artichokes. You know, we hear about them, but we very rarely see them on our table. So
I know. And you know what? I'm hoping to change that, at least in my household. So first of all, so normally when I think Sauvignon Blanc, I think asparagus. And asparagus has, you know, a particular quality that only goes pretty much with Sauvignon Blanc. Artichokes have the same kind of difficulty with wines that asparagus does. But Sauvignon Blanc is probably the one key wine that goes really well with asparagus or with artichokes. And on my journey towards eating better foods, like not eliminating anything, but eating better foods, artichokes are a really, really good, historically great food to eat. In the Romans, it was only for the elite that got the artichokes, like it was a very elitist vegetable. And it's not something that we typically have here. And so I thought it goes with Sauvignon Blanc. It's a very healthy, awesome vegetable. And of course, roast it with some Parmesan cheese and some breadcrumbs and make it a little bit more decadent. I thought, this is going to be a different pairing. And I'm hoping it goes really well with this particular Sauvignon Blanc.
It sounds delicious, Teresa. And I happen to grow artichokes.
Do you really?
grow artichokes? Wow.
I'm coming to visit you.
Wow.
I have them in pots, and the first year they don't produce any fruit, so to speak. But the second year they produce fruit. So of course they come in the winter and then they go back out in the summer. And it's fairly easy to grow.
Okay. My understanding, and part of the reason why it's never been presented at my table, is that preparation side of it. Like the artichoke is very good at hiding its glory to get into it. So, Teresa, am I assuming that you might have got these from a can? Is that a way to?
I did.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And in fact, Lorraine, so one of my cooks who's Italian and is used to artichokes, I said, we'll do roasted artichokes in Parmesan for 40 people. She goes, yeah, really? We're going to peel that many artichokes? And I said, no. You can get them in a can in water and they work.
Yeah.
I hope they work.
So before we move on to the reds, we have a very pointed and directed great question for Darlene. When you quoted the statistics at the LCBO, Pinot Grigio and Sauv Blanc, number 1, number 2, is that just in the white category, or is that across the spectrum of wine in the LCBO?
No, in the white category.
Okay, perfect. because they got a lot of wine there. I've seen some of the stores.
Yeah, and we can thank, Chile is a great producer of Sauvignon Blanc, especially because up in the higher elevation, they get the cooler weather. But also we can thank the push from New Zealand, where basically the LCBO buyers, these are my words, have been trained to bring in as much Sauvignon Blanc as possible. Doesn't matter whether it's good or whether it's bad, but anything from New Zealand is, what people are craving.
Yeah. And I think it's created kind of a weariness, right? It is the people that don't like that grassy, that particular style are a little hesitant to maybe try from another country. They don't necessarily understand. So thank you for bringing this to us. It's fantastic. And the price point again, Darlene, on this is?
It is $13.95, I believe. I
got that on me. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. I think that brings us to the time of the clock, a little after 8 o'clock. Are you ladies ready to go on to reds? We've had great comments. Thank you for the pairing, and the vegan version of the artichokes was really, 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 really good.
Oh, good.
So this is a recipe that can be made vegan very easily. So that's not ignorance.
Okay, so now we have our red flight, and of course I'll let Darlene talk to the wines themselves. But so we have a Malbec with wild rice with mushrooms and peppers, and then the first Cabernet Sauvignon is, and it might seem like an odd pairing, but it's ratatouille tartlets. So I'm really curious as to how it works for you folks. And then of course we have our cheddar cheese. Okay, we always have a cheddar cheese with our last red wine. So Darlene, what do you want to say about these wines?
Okay, let me get my screen up again. And great. Okay, so we're on to the red. This is Trapiche Pure Malbec. It's currently on sale. I believe it's down to $12.45. That sale ends Sunday. It's 100% Malbec. Vineyards in the Uco Valley in the province of Mendoza. Of course, everybody knows that Argentina is known for Malbec. This is deep red colored with violet hues, aromas of red fruits like plums and cherries. And on the palate, it's round with minerality and a concentration of fruit, offering an elegant finish. Again, the residual sugar is quite low. So all of these wines are the type that I drink on a regular basis because I do not like anything above 6 or 7 grams per liter. I find I'm just very sensitive to the sugar.
Nice Malbec. So try it with the rice and mushrooms. So it should be an earthiness, slightly different pairing than usual for Malbec, but must have been in an unusual mood.
The top one.
So Teresa, I think I heard you say an unusual pairing, the rice.
So I don't, so Malbec is a full-bodied wine, but wild rice also and mushrooms have good earthiness. So yeah, normally I would do a protein with a Malbec, but anyway, you guys tell me. I thought the wild rice and the mushrooms, and I think we added some cranberries in the end just to give it just a whatever. Anyway.
So Lola and Dale say well balanced, very easy to drink. Although it may stain your teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it is.
I can say we didn't wait, Darlene. We had a little bit of lamb this week in our house, and it was spectacular with that.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find
And that would be the traditional pairing, like
Made me
a
forget.
red meat. Yeah.
yeah, and I find this wine to be very approachable, where I sometimes Malbecs can be extremely tannic, and that's like to drink my wine now and not wait until it's ready.
So did it work with the rice, the wild rice, folks?
This is really good. Yeah, combination is proving very well. And then the cranberry, people are noticing that. Gives a little bit of highlight to the wine. So if you have to not have lamb, this is fantastic.
Or you could have this with your lamb.
100%.
And they both work. Yeah. But it's funny, the cranberries, so there's a juiciness to this Malbec. Like, so it's not a sweetness per se, but it's a juiciness. And the cranberries, I think, go with that.
Yeah.
And how long is the sale on for, Darlene? We have just a smidge left in our inventory. So do we get it directly from you? It's not an LCBO product?
No, it's at the LCBO.
Okay.
And the sale finishes on the Sunday. So Sunday is the last day. So you have 2 days and 1 hour, depending on when your liquor store closes. Yeah.
Beth wants
And-
to know if it was okay if she heated her mushrooms. Absolutely, honey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? We weren't, so we were of two minds. So rice dishes work cold, but of course, wild rice and mushroom dish works hot as well. So we didn't want to obligate people to heat it, but yes, absolutely heat it for sure.
And just so I'm not saying out of turn, Darlene, you can correct me. We understand that any purchase through the LCBO still counts towards your company. So if we don't buy it directly from you, you still get, in quotes, credit for
Yes.
the sales. So, you know, you should be running your little feet over to the LCBO. I believe they open at 10 on Saturdays. And the sale price Lola is asking is 12. I thought you heard 12 something.
I think it's 12:45. I can check right
Yeah, I
now.
think so. Yeah. Anyway, for a Malbec, that's like
Great value.
You're gonna have to climb
Yeah.
over Shelley. Don't go to the orchard LCBO. She's gonna have, so.
I'm buying them all.
Yeah.
okay. So what about the next ones? The Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yep, I'm ready for you guys.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back to Chile. Oh, we seem to go Argentina, Chile, Argentina, Chile. So we just keep crisscrossing the mountains. This is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon grown in Maipo Valley. Aromas of dark fruit and chocolate, more mocha, smoky with dried plums, prunes perhaps, and it's bold, ripe tannins. I find it structured, very juicy, and a great everyday Cabernet with or without food. And again, low sugar, so it's 3 grams per liter.
Nice. Easy drinking.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
be, and you're right, can be without food.
Yeah.
Which
And-
is kind of unusual for Cabernet Sauvignon in my books. Usually I like them with food, but this is, yeah, it's smooth.
And the nose on this wine, it's just incredible. It's almost hedonistic with the floral and that red fruit coming right out.
At an everyday price.
Yes, yes. I was, when I changed over, once we moved to Burlington, and I started on the Dandurand side at on October 1st. And I was incredibly overwhelmed because I wasn't aware of these wines because I was with the other company for 12 years. So their portfolio is so much bigger. So I just randomly try wines. And when I first tried it, it was like, wow, I can't believe the price point for what you're getting in the glass. How is your pairing working?
So what do you think?
Yeah, so help us understand, again, this is non-protein based. Some people have impressions about Cab Sav, the butteriness of the tart, but ratatouille.
Oh,
So tell me about that.
so the ratatouille tart so eggplant, peppers, zucchini, like robust vegetables, all roasted, like all cooked separately, and then joined together with herb de Provence. And then the tart shells, for those of you that have them, lined with a cheese to bring it all together. I don't know. To me, these are some of the most robust vegetables around that will hold up to a red wine. So that was my thinking. And it's funny, I didn't realize until after we had prepared all the dishes that there were no meat-based proteins. It was purely coincidental because I was matching wines to the foods and not thinking about the ingredients per se. And it just happened to turn out to be all these different vegetables that worked with the different wines.
And Teresa, if I can interject as well, but as you mentioned, those are robust vegetables, but we have to remember as well that Cabernet Sauvignon, people don't often think to pair it with a pasta, with a tomato sauce, but it works. Cabernet Sauvignon is Cabernet Franc and a cross with Sauvignon Blanc. So you have that herbal, that, almost sometime tomato vine greenness to tabs. So it absolutely works with vegetables.
Yep. And actually, Darlene has an excellent point here. So the parents to Cabernet Sauvignon are Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Franc. So if you think of the parentage and then you think of Cabernet Sauvignon, like that kind of changes your mindset a little bit in terms of what it will pair with. So we think Cabernet Sauvignon, we think Bordeaux, but that's it's a different animal in some ways. But a straight Cabernet Sauvignon or even a blend, yeah.
Did everyone like this wine? Can I get any feedback from any of you?
Yeah, be sure you've got some reactions on the bottom. You can use your thumbs up, and certainly the chat is full of loving the pairing. Oh my God, where's the recipe? We would go with any wine. Tartlets are awesome. There was a question about, and this often happens, Teresa, because you create pairings that will go with wines that people have ordered, all of them, or maybe some of them. So the question was, you have had this cheese, not the ratatouille. Why this ratatouille now with this wine, and then the cheese with the next wine? We're jumping ahead, we're reading on ahead, but I agree that the mouthfeel of the hardiness of the vegetables, and as you say, the 6 minutes ago, I learned the parentage of these wines makes it perfect. So there's my thing of the day I learned. So yeah, my following you has been anything that you pair will go equally with anything on that side of the placemat. that correct?
So that's, and you know what? That's the ideal. So that might be, I might have done this with this particular wine, but in an ideal world, it goes with all three of the wines that are on that placemat for that night.
Right.
Now, that's not always going to be 100% true, but, and that's why too, you need to taste each of the wines with each of the food pairings and say, okay, yeah, I like that one with this. And oh no, it didn't go with that. Or, hey, you know what? I think it went better with that. So is, and because there's individual taste and palate involved in every tasting. So just because I think this is the perfect pairing or a good pairing doesn't mean it's going to be 100% with your palate. So the ultimate judge on everything is you and your palate.
Yeah, and the comments reflect that. So Beth and Martin saying the Malbec just works equally well with the Ratatouille, and I love the recipe, but I can't get that little gray mouse out of my head with the chefs. So anyway, I think it's probably time, Darlene, to move on to the last wine.
Yes,
because we're at that point where we're talking about Disney characters. Whatever.
Okay, so we are jumping back over the mountain again, and we are in Argentina. It's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from Mendoza. And I love this tasting because we get to try same grapes, but from two different countries. So this is dark red in color. For me, upfront aromas of plum, raspberry, blackberries with some smoky notes. Dry, medium bodied with plum and blackberry flavors. I find it to have a rich and round mouthfeel, and we have the highest sugar of the 6 wines that we've tried this evening, 5 grams per liter of residual sugar.
You might not be hearing the humps. 5 grams, is that relative to everything we've had tonight, Darlene? This clocks in as the highest residual sugar.
Yes, so the others were 2.9, 3, and so on. Yeah.
but it's still not high in residual sugar
Not at all.
in the overall scheme of things. Like it's still a dry wine.
Yes.
Wow, Beth, I love you to death. Hate to say, but it wasn't a mouse, it was a rat in the movie. Okay, we moved on. I thought we called it was a rat. Okay. All right, I think I know that too. And so Teresa, we do have a couple of new folks on the call tonight. Explain how you always end up with cheddar cheese or chocolate at the end of a pairing, please.
So with a robust red wine, like good red, cheddar cheese, ideally old, but even medium, because usually we can't slice an old cheese properly. But cheddar cheese and red wine have a natural affinity. So we always end with, cheese is a good way to end all your foods, like the cheese plate at the end of the meal. So this is our way of doing the cheese plate at the end of the meal, but cheddar cheese. And then normally the last 2 red wines are cheddar cheese and dark chocolate, but we have a different ending tonight with the cocoa vodka. So I decided to move the chocolate to the vodka tasting. And it's an awesome chocolate. But typically, with big, bold red wines, cheddar cheese and dark chocolate are good matches. And if you're ever in doubt of what to serve at the end of a meal, like cheddar cheese and dark chocolate. So chips with the sparkling at the beginning and cheddar cheese and chocolate at the end. And everything else we vary.
And Teresa, I find it's the salt in the cheddar. So the older it is, the more umami flavors that you get. And I found between the last two wines, I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I found there to be more acidity in the Trapiche Reserva compared to the Chilean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Darlene, just feel free to bypass this. Argentina, Chile, up and comer, who's leading in the clubhouse? What's going on in that region? Are they friends? Are they frenemies? What's kind of going on?
Well, currently the Argentinian category is in a slight decline of 2.6%. I think what happened, of course, everything changed at the beginning of the pandemic. Everything was on fire. And then people go back to their regular buying habits. So that's where you'll see the decline. If I don't know if you guys remember being in the liquor store, early or mid 2020, and carts were, full. It wasn't you just were running in for 4 or 5 bottles. The LCBO saw single transactions go up from a regular $32 to the average sale out of a cart was $110. So I think that's where you see the decline. But the good thing is that they're still exporting a lot of wine. Most of these countries export to over 50 countries worldwide. So it's a global market. And they have a lot of hectares under vines. So I think they're both healthy. It's just that we've seen a little drop after the main free-for-all of the pandemic when it initially started.
And no sort of climate change issues. We've seen a lot of regions, California, been affected by wildfires. So climate change, how's that working for Argentina? Even when we look at France, they're looking to go north into the UK because it's becoming too hot in France for some of the varietals. How's it? I mean, and feel free to say outside of your ability to comment, but I'm wondering how it's happening over there.
Yes, indeed. They are actually now making sparkling wine in the UK in several vineyards, and it is affecting California, Washington State, Oregon, even some locations in Italy as well. But the thing about Chile, it has the cool wind of the Pacific, and yes, it is the Pacific, is it? No, it's the Atlantic. and also
that's a directional thing.
Yeah, and also it has elevation. Both Chile and Argentina have the Andes Mountains, so that protects them as well, and they can always move their vineyards up if it gets too hot on the valley floor, like in Mendoza or Maipo Valley. But they are surrounded by mountains.
Fantastic. Well, I see by the hands on the clock, to those of us who are, you brought us, thank you, Darlene, some spectacular wines, and we're just about 8:30. So I'm wondering if Teresa, you want to lead us with.
So we have the last is the cocoa vodka and the Ghirardelli chocolates.
Yeah.
So, and that's what was in your kit. I don't know if anybody opened it or wanted to try it or what, or you want to save it till another day because but I did try it and it's, I mean, oh my goodness, if you like coconuts, you will like the cocoa vodka.
Yeah, I do have one more slide, Teresa.
Oh, sorry.
One more. It's okay. It's
Okay,
yep, just one.
you're back.
Yep, just gonna pop it open. Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know about this cocoa vodka.
Ah.
So it is made in Canada, in Waterloo, and it is the only RTD which is ready to drink, made with real coconut water that provides vitamins and minerals, including magnesium, potassium, and calcium, and natural hydration from electrolytes. When I first had this, it was like drinking a clear pina colada. That's what I got from it. And I can't even think of a better pina colada to have, because I always find pina coladas to be really heavy. But this was just fantastic. It's $2.95. And in the month of April, it will be 25 cents off a can. I personally like it over ice. Some people like it very chilled without ice. And I have not tried it with the Ghirardelli chocolates, but I thought that you guys might like to have Ghirardelli chocolates. And I have to tell you a story. I was in San Francisco when my son was 14. He's 30 now. He just turned 30. And I took him to the Ghirardelli chocolate factory for the Ghirardelli chocolate tour. So we go through this whole tour, and of course you end up after, 45 minutes, you're in the gift shop, and they are handing out all different kinds of Ghirardelli chocolates free. So of any flavor that you want. And my son, he kept saying, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you. And I'm like, take the damn chocolate. Because these chocolates are very expensive. And he was like, oh, no, I don't want chocolate. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you don't want chocolate. Your mother wants chocolate. So.
I took my niece to the same place. She took all the chocolates.
Okay, there you are. Yeah.
Anyway, good. So
Darlene,
Like-
you're saying it's a health drink, just before we lose this
it's a
slide?
health drink.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
5% alcohol, coconut water. It's a health drink.
That's it.
100%. Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying that. No, it's awesome, and we look forward to trying that, as you say, maybe on ice or as part of something a little bit more exotic. So thanks for bringing that to us.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
really, you're really going to like it, Marilyn. Absolutely.
If you like coconut, you will like this cocoa vodka. It's, yeah.
And it does not taste artificial. That's the good thing about it.
No, it tastes like coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I want to thank your members again for having me. Even though I am living in Leamington, I am not far.
From here.
And it's always a pleasure to work with the Burlington Wine Club and their members. It is just, it's an honor. And I'm truly blessed to have met Teresa and have this relationship with all of you.
Well, I was thinking that Hannah was going to be here, but that's okay. Like you are all we need.
Thank you.
Anyway, it was awesome. Really, thank you. It was good. Of course, I have a huge group of volunteers that make this all work. So Marilyn, co-host. Membership Sue. So if you're interested in membership, talk to Sue or send me an email or whatever. Pick a point, Marilyn again, and Mike. They do everything. Wine and Food, Dorothy, Lorraine, Kathy. Oh my goodness, they spent quite a few hours here preparing all the food and packaging it and everything else. So like, oh my goodness, this club would not exist without the volunteers. Wine sales, Monique. So Monique's the one that says, you ordered this wine, you owe this much, and here's where you send it. And social media, Danielle. And you know what? Darlene, you can comment to this if you want. The Burlington Wine Club promotes all of our partners. Like if people contribute to the Burlington Wine Club, we promote your specials, we promote whatever, and people can order from you directly. But whatever it is, you have any partner of ours gets promoted on our website, and Danielle handles all of that. And does it work for you, Darlene?
Yes, it does. And I believe yesterday I did send you upcoming programming, what's on sale now, what's going to be on sale next month, and what's going to be on sale the following month.
Yep.
You
Yes,
did
I've
get
already
it.
posted, I posted
Already
P12,
posted.
which finishes soon, and then,
Yeah.
sorry, I posted P12, which finishes soon. And next week I'll post P13 and the Italian information you sent me. So yeah, I'm on
So-
top of it.
I just wanted
And
to let you
yeah,
know that-
the thing is, it's mutually beneficial because all of our members get to see any of the sales and things that are on at the LCBO from any of our agents that they wouldn't normally know about. And you guys get a bit of promotion about those sales, right? So anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's not a problem. And if anybody has any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Teresa has my email, and she can forward that to you if you wish, and my phone number, or you can call me anytime. And again, I extend it to all your members if they are traveling. We have wineries all over the world.
That's awesome.
Yes.
You know what? As things are starting to open up, and if people are thinking about where we want to go and need to go and everything else, like that's actually that, you know what? That's a really unique offer.
Yeah. And, I've said to some of my restaurants to California, they were there just before New Year's. I myself am going to South Africa in 11 days. And I'm visiting Porcupine Ridge, or the Chocolate
Yep.
Walk in Franschhoek.
Yep.
So I'm
Been
taking,
there?
I'm getting a tasting.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Volunteers, Marilyn, Sue. So anybody who's interested in a membership for those like odd people that may have joined us tonight. Sue, Pickup Point, Mike and Marilyn have been awesome. The Wine and Food, Dorothy, Lorraine, Kathy, Wine Sales, Monique, Danielle. And next month we have an Ontario winery. We haven't had one in ages, but Nancy Kennedy, one of our she represents a number of like an agency, but she represents Malabor Winery, and we have the winemaker that's going to join us. So that's very cool. We haven't had a winemaker in a while.
And he's a very nice guy.
He is, and isn't he a treat?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It is one of the things that is so special about Niagara region is that the winemakers do come together to support each other. I mean, there's a healthy competition, but they do come together to support each other.
They do.
So, Teresa, I know that I should know this, but the email address to send the money for the wine purchases, is that sale? I would just want to put it in the chat. Is that
No, that's
wine sales at?
no, that's
Oh, let's not worry about it then. Monique will take care of it. Monique,
okay.
if
Yep.
you've not been
Yep.
contacted, Monique will be with the email address for an e-transfer.
It ends up at Teresa's Wine Academy, but I'm not sure that that's the official one.
Yeah, it flows through your Burlington wine. So let's get anyone who hasn't been contacted if you've ordered wine. And we have a little bit of inventory. So Teresa, on those boxes I delivered to you.
I know, but I will tell you, I'm probably not going to release any of the Prosecco.
Oh, well, yeah.
I have some. I have.
Yeah.
Leamington. Okay, I'm writing it down.
All right, fine.
Espresso.
Darlene and I will talk. I'll sell the Prosecco.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, yes, there is some inventory left. And if you liked any of the wines, let me know and we'll make arrangements for you to get them either at the next wine club or before. Anyway.
100%.
Can I see all the participants? Is that possible?
That should be under your purview under view.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, if you go view, say gallery, you'll see everybody.
I don't have view.
Hi, Chris's.
Top right-hand corner of your
Oh, yes.
Zoom is, yeah, there you go.
Gallery. Great.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna take a picture of you guys.
All right, well, hold on. We have
Glasses up then.
No, we give you a countdown. Okay, you have a 3-second countdown. Grab your beverage, whatever it is. We're going to count you down.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Turn
Cheers.
your cameras on, everyone. Turn your cameras on.
Perfect.
Oh, you have a few more people. Have to do it again.
Oh,
Okay.
well, yeah, there's always, it's just like in the old days. Have to do it again. Hey, Chris and Chris.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Durand,
Cheers.
Durand. I just love saying it. Durand, Durand. I don't. I giggle every time I say it. I don't know why.
So you do realize some people thought I was bringing the band, right?
You're always bringing the band, honey. You're always bringing the band.
It's different.
All right. Well, that
So
concludes the official portion. Once we've done the beginning cheers, and
absolutely.
please feel free to stay on and
Final
socialize.
cheers. Yep.
Thank you, Darlene. Namaste. And stay well, everyone, and we'll see you.
Yes. Thanks, Darlene. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Darlene. And congratulations on your upgrade in your job too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There is a lot of work out here, but who knew?